So in this video I'm going to be breaking down the NREAL Air glasses. You've probably seen a lot of talk about these glasses. The problem I had before purchasing these glasses was I very much in my head took a bit of a risk. The reason that I say I took a bit of a risk is because every review that I seen on this platform was from a sponsored source. And while yes, a lot of the sites are trustworthy sites, you've always got that doubt in the back of your head that is this something that's being said because they're paid to say it? So I wanted to give you a completely unbiased opinion of the NREAL Air glasses. If they are something you are considering, this might be enough for you to either decide to purchase these or pass on these. Now, for me personally, my main use case scenario for purchasing these glasses were twofold. One, I mainly wanted them as a larger way to play my Steam Deck so that I could kick back in bed with an external controller, something like a PlayStation controller, and play games on a larger screen. And I'm happy to say this device performs fantastically to do that, okay? Basically, it gives you what I would describe as a large... I don't want to put a number on it because I find it very difficult to quantify how people perceive distance and size, but it actually does feel like quite a large cinema type screen in front of your eyes, okay? Now, if you've ever used a VR headset and you've watched something in like the big picture mode where you've potentially got one of those fake cinemas, it's very like that, you know, you've got a very large screen floating in front of your eyes, and I would say that it does look in excess of 100 inches. I mean, it could be much more than that, but to me it seems like it's maybe about 110 inches, okay? Being a man, I'm not very good at judging inches. I probably overestimate that quite a bit, but hey, if you're a dude watching this video, you probably know what I'm talking about. So the first case that I had for this was wanting to play the Steam Deck on a bigger screen, and like I say, it 100% does that. I'm able to tweak settings within my Steam Deck to enable this device to get 1080p. I can play games at a higher resolution than I can on my Steam Deck. The visual experience is great, it's punchy, the colours are actually, I'll be completely honest, they're fantastic. I did not expect the colours to pop the way that they do on this device. They look absolutely fantastic. I've used several personal displays. Way back in 2016 at a Sony event, I used a Sony personal display, and I thought the technology would have evolved a lot in this space and time, and it's not really, but using devices like this, I can see that the future is pretty bright in this space, and it looks absolutely fantastic, okay? So that is for personal viewing on the Steam Deck. Now, I will go back to talk more about the Steam Deck, but the other thing that I do use the device for is to occasionally watch movies on things like Netflix, things like Crunchyroll if I'm watching anime, and popping this headset on with a dedicated set of headphones, it's a very good experience. I can watch films really enjoyably. I can, if you've got a decent set of headphones, get good bass, and it's very immersive, you know, it's very immersive, very personal, and it's a very good way to watch movies, okay? The device itself does come with built-in headphones that do the job, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend watching a film or even necessarily a TV show because you're going to lack a lot of punch that you would get from a dedicated set of headphones. Not only that, there's zero isolation of sound, so you're going to bother people round about you, which again is something that maybe you don't want to do. The whole point in having your own personal experience is you don't impede the others around about you. So I would definitely be pairing this up with a set of Bluetooth headphones for your mobile devices. Now, my Android device does not support this natively, so I'm not supposed to be able to use the app, okay? Now, I did sideload the app into this device and it recognises it, no problem at all. However, when I go to try and use any of the AR capabilities, it simply just does not allow it, which makes me feel like This is more of a choice thing than a limitation thing. I feel like NREAL have decided to not allow it to work on these devices because the device I'm using has a Snapdragon 888 processor. There's absolutely no way it could not perform the tasks asked of it. So it's almost like NREAL have opted to partner up with certain manufacturers, which I must say I'm not necessarily a massive fan of. However, what I will say is any device that supports video out over USB, you can use this as a personal screen. Okay, that's what we're going to call it. We're not going to call it an AR device, we're going to call it a personal screen. And that is why I purchased it, and I'm very happy with that, okay? Now, I have been able to use it on a supported device, and what I will say is, some of the things that you get on a supported device are very good, like fixed positioning, where the screen will stay in a fixed position, and as you look around, the screen will not follow you, okay? This would open up a whole host of opportunities to do things like running on the treadmill while watching a video of someone who is going on an outward run, so that you've got a bit of scenery to look at. Now, I thought I would be able to do this on my simple video out view using my Android device, and you can't do it. You can't. You can physically do it, but because the image stays in a locked fixed position, the fact that when you're running your head's bobbing around and whatever, it is so disorientating that it will end up making you sick. So it's definitely something that you can't do, and this is the same for walking outside. Now, theoretically speaking, you can go outside with these, okay? I'm trying, hopefully in editing I've been able to put up a good representation of what this looks like, but the glasses themselves have a slight tint on the front of them, and the picture that you get on the screen is very, very punchy, and you can see through it. However, you can't see perfectly through it, okay? So if you've got this large screen right in front of your eyes, you essentially only have the peripherals around the screen to see properly, and to be honest, it would be pretty dangerous to go walking outside with the locked screen positioning. Now, using something like a Samsung Galaxy S22 that's supported, the fact that the screen will not follow you means that you might have a little bit more leeway with being able to walk outside. But what I will say is, even without the shades, the colour is so punchy and so bright that it will obscure your vision and make it maybe a little bit difficult to actually navigate outside while using this device. Now, when it comes to the whole screen being able to be seen through, I think that while you can see through it, it's not enough to necessarily dampen what you're seeing on screen. I've already said that navigating while walking would be a bit difficult with the large screen in front of your face. However, at times you might still want to put those shades on if you are sitting back in bed to play a game, because some of the ambient things that you can see in your room, while not diminishing the experience, you can still see them, so I would recommend probably putting on the shades to get a better experience than having the shades off. Now, this device can support other phones, but again, it will simply be in video mode, okay? So you will not get the AR capabilities. So if you wanted to use them in something like an Apple iPhone, you can do that, okay? Apple iPads, you can plug straight in. No problem, no additional things required. With the Apple iPhone, however, you have to buy the NREAL adapter, and that's where things start to get a little bit dicey. With the NREAL adapter, you have to buy the adapter, and you also have to buy the Apple official USB to HDMI output, which would be a dongle that you purchase, and combined it'll end up costing you in the region of around about £150 to pick this up. And personally, for me, as someone who owns an iPhone and I have an old Android device, I simply use the Android device for the likes of YouTube, video watching and stuff like that. I don't want the added expense of purchasing this dongle because it is extremely expensive for what it is. Now, going back to the AR things, when I did trial this on a device that supports it, what I will say is, while the multi-screen and multitasking and things like that are pretty cool, I don't really see that many reasons that I would use that. I would also say that the games and things like that are supported for AR are just almost like, look, cool, you can do this, rather than being anything that I would recommend doing. So for me, the best thing that this device does is provide you with a personal screen. And again, you do not need to have a supported device if you want to use it for that. All you simply need is something that supports video out over USB-C. So if you are someone who is potentially looking at picking this up for something like your Steam Deck, then I wholeheartedly recommend it, because you will get a fantastic experience using this device. Now, the device itself does not have a battery, and you can actually buy dongles, not dongles, but docks or hubs that will provide both USB-C and power and USB-C video out, okay? There's one in particular that is fairly low cost. It's from a manufacturer called Red Magic, who funnily enough make the Android device that I use. This will provide both USB-C power and also USB-C video out. Despite the fact that these do not draw a lot of power and your Steam Deck screen will be off while using them, you will see a slight bump in the amount of time that you can play your deck. But with this dock, or hub, whatever you want to call it, you can have that plugged in along with your power supply, and you can play for hours and hours and hours on end. So I'll probably pin that in the comments down below so that you can see where to get it. It's probably one of the cheapest things that I've seen that will allow you to do this, and it works absolutely fantastically. So if you want something like that, like I say, I will pin it in the comment down below. Not sponsored or anything like that, so I don't make anything from that, but it will allow you to have a better experience, a longer experience. If you're using it on your mobile device, you can also use that dock as well. And on your mobile device, you can obviously use apps like Netflix, etc. and watch movies. I mean, on your Steam Deck, if you really wanted to, you could watch movies no problem at all, because obviously you can do things like have VLC installed. So movie watching is completely an option on the deck, but obviously with apps and stuff like that, it's a lot more user-friendly just to pick up your mobile phone and be good to go. So for me, what I would say is the NREAL Air glasses are absolutely worth it if you're looking for a large personal screen experience. If you're looking to have your Steam Deck be able to be left at the side of you, if you want to hook up a PlayStation controller, an Xbox controller, kick back, play on a larger screen without having to buy a dock or hog your TV, the NREAL Air glasses totally deliver on that front. When it comes to the more AR aspects, I feel like they are ever so slightly gimmicky, but these are the type of things that almost have to be seen to be believed. The one thing I will say is, I'm not sponsored, so there's no benefit for me telling you something that isn't true. And what I will say is, if you purchase these glasses, I do not think you would be disappointed in them. They will provide you with a fantastic viewing experience, great colours, great clarity. Everything about them is very, very good, and yeah, they're definitely worth a buy in my own personal opinion.